My bad, guys. I thought I was live. I've been talking to myself for the last 3 minutes. So that's awkward. Uh, whoops. Can you guys see me? Why is it? It says I'm live. Am I live, everybody? Somebody give me an affirmative. We got you, Nate. There we go. I seem to forget. I seem to forget. My wife's been listening to me talk to the blank screen here, I guess, for the last 3 minutes. I somehow always forget to press the go live button. Because I schedule them to go live and then I forget I actually have to click the button. So here we go. We're here. All right. My bad, guys. I've been literally talking to myself for the last 3 minutes. But all right. We did it. It's always technical difficulties at the start of the stream. You guys know that. All right. We got a lot to talk about. Not a lot of time. All right. I got about an hour on this one. Kids got a football game. Kids playing on varsity now. This year is a sophomore, so we may have to adjust the times of the lives. Friday Night Lights, guys. It is what it is for football season. But yeah, we're gonna get into this one. All right. First things first. Obviously, the world is crazy right now. We all know what we're here to talk about. I've done some videos going over what happened. In this one, we're gonna talk about why. Why did this happen? I'm sure you guys have seen 20 different conspiracies for why this happened. We're just going to go over the possibilities. All right. I'm not here to tell you I know the answers. I don't. So I'm speculating on everything, just like you guys are. So I'm not here to tell you what the answer is. I'm just here to show you the possibilities. Okay. Also, let me start with this, and this one's for the mods. And I know it's not you guys for the most part. The comments I've seen, not just on my videos, on other people's videos about what happened to Charlie, I'm pretty disgusted at the response. I'm sure a lot of you guys are as well. So if you come into this channel for this live and you try to celebrate what happened to Charlie, if you try to come in and make excuses for what happened to Charlie, I want the mods to just go ahead and ban you immediately. We are not going to play that game. What happened to Charlie was absolutely horrible. I want that to be stated up front. The more I've thought on it, the more it bugs me more and more and makes me more and more emotional when I think about it as someone who's a father, and knowing that his wife and young children were there in response, saw him right in front of them get murdered. And then I heard something today that about as a girl dad about, man, it's about to make me emotional right now. About gutted me is his young daughter. His young daughter tried to run to Charlie because she was so scared of all the loud noises that were going, and that the fact people are celebrating that, like, I just want any of you out there watching this, if you are celebrating that, I want you to know that you are the scum of the earth. From me to you. But we'll move past that. And I didn't agree with everything Charlie said. I wasn't a big Charlie Kirk fan by any means. But, I mean, absolutely no one should be murdered in broad daylight for opinions, for words. That is not what this country is about. And I'm sure you guys like me, I would have been equally as horrified if I watched that happen to Don Lemon or Rachel Maddow or whoever you want. I would have been equally as absolutely fucking horrified. And I hope you guys would have as well. The reaction from, and again, not just a couple people, but thousands of people all over the internet. Sad day for America, man. Sad for Charlie and his family, but a sad day that's the state of America right now, that we have that going on. Anyway, I just wanted to get that out front. If you come in here, you're going to get hammered for that. All right, but it's not what we're here to do today. Okay, so we're going to go through all of the potential possibilities. All right, there's some big ones. Okay, we're going to start. Let's see. What do we got? Well, let's list some. Okay, we've got the official story, okay, from the FBI and the government's involved. This is a young college-age shooter acting by himself, a part of Antifa, of course, is what they're saying. They were saying he was trans, and now he's Antifa. whatever, that'll change here and there. That's the first main story, right? Whether it's a kind of a Democrat leftist hit, whatever you want to call it, that's what we're going with for the official story. Next, you have, this is a cover up for the Epstein case. There's a lot of weird shit that we're going to go over that I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying weird timing on some stuff that happened in the Senate an hour after Charlie was assassinated. Okay, so we'll go over that one. We have the left's response, which is that this was potentially a setup hit from the right, from Trump, to essentially enact some type of civil war, to get martial law going so that he can run for a third term. I'm seeing crazy shit like that. Okay, that's another one. We have the foreign adversary. Okay, China, Russia pulled this off to enact a civil war within America, to topple America from within. That's a conspiracy. I don't want to call them conspiracies because they all sort of have merit here and there, right? And then we've got the fucking elephant in the room as always. Imagine what the last one's going to be, boys and girls. Sure, we all know that one. Because, my God. Yeah, we're going to have to put the flags up in the chat for the back half of this one for sure. Because a lot of fucking sketchy shit there. Okay. So, again, let me preface this because people try to take any word I say as gospel, and this is how I feel. I don't know, guys. I don't know the answer. We're just going to work our way through this, and we're going to talk to the chat, see what you guys think, see if we could maybe, we're not going to figure it out together, guys, but give our best guess. Okay. So let's do that. We'll try to hit the super chats as we go so we don't get too far behind. We'll hit some real quick, and then we're going to jump right into the first possibility. All right. Dano, what's up, brother? This will defend. Appreciate you. Appreciate you too. My brother JD Delay, the FBI suspect now has a GoFundMe. Oh my God. All right, we're going to talk about him first. Okay, that's going to be the first story. It's super weird. If that's the case, my God, because you can only imagine who's donating to that. All right, Fanatic $10. Charles was assassinated professionally and now biggest shill bench. Don't worry, we have videos for that as well, brother. We have Shapiro's response tuned up, ready to show you because. Not going to get into it yet. All right. It's sad, laughing, joking about it. Shouldn't matter what side you're on. No, absolutely not. Great point, Phillips. All right. Think the shooter dumped the gun down to a buddy. That's okay. So this is great. We're going to talk about this because it just broke right before this that the shooter made a phone call to someone right before he went onto the roof to take this shot. It's starting to look like this was not a lone gunman. Okay. I don't know for sure, but again, we'll get into that. Awesome hoodie, bro. Hell yeah. Thanks, brother. Rip, yep, absolutely. Rip to Charlie, and prayers to his family. Was a message not to any of us to show of force. I've seen playbooks, so have you. Yeah. Thank you very much, Sal. Appreciate you for the big dono, man. That's very, very generous of you. All right, guys. Again, thank you. All right, let's jump into this. Let's talk about it. First things first, we're going to go with what we have to, the official story, okay? So with the official story being, we all know who he is. Let's throw him up on the screen here. All right, this gentleman. Actually, let's put up this one, okay, and talk about him. Talk about who this kid is, okay, because it's kind of important. Now, the reason why I have this up here, all right, for those of you who don't know, this kid, he apparently grows up in a very conservative family in Utah. Dad is a police officer, I believe, we're finding out. He's obviously, here's the thing that comes into, was he a trained shooter? He most certainly was trained in firearms. We're starting to see his whole background is, raised as a kid like me with a dad who's into firearms. So the kid can obviously shoot. I would imagine growing up shooting, this kid can shoot. Okay. We're not blaming his dad at all. I'm just saying we're getting a profile here. The profile, because again, initially it was, if it's some libtard, he can't make a 200-meter shot. It's all that can't be. Again, I'm trying to look at things objectively here. It couldn't have been some dipshit college kid. Well, now we know that it's a college kid who comes from a conservative family who grew up shooting long guns. Okay, now all of a sudden there's a little bit more credibility to this kid being the actual shooter. I'll get into why I don't necessarily personally believe myself that this kid was necessarily the shooter or the lone gunman, but it does lend credibility to this kid 100% absolutely could be a lone gunman based off of, his experience, okay? He's not some dipshit kid that's never shot a gun before. Okay. However, he is supposedly some Antifa leftist. Now, I'm not saying that's not true. I'm just saying very odd. Grows up in Utah, conservative family, going to a very conservative college, but yet he's some hardcore leftist Antifa activist. Maybe because, again, you can be indoctrinated that fast. Kids can be indoctrinated that fast at these universities. So it's possible. It feels unlikely, but it's definitely possible. He was obviously there. He was obviously on the roof. I went through the whole video showing how I don't believe that he brought a rifle, at least the rifle they showed, the 30-06, up to the roof by himself. And I don't, from everything I could see in the video footage, I don't see him leave with a 30-06 rifle, a somewhere between probably 36 to 44 inch gun, depending on barrel length. I just don't see it in the videos. So for me, if that rifle the FBI found in the forest, I don't believe that was the gun. He either left the gun on the scene or he had no gun at all. I don't know. Okay. Again, I'm just speculating, guys. That's the official story. Lone gunman, hardcore leftist, Antifa. At first he was trans. I'm sure you guys saw that. He was a trans activist, and then with trans engravings on the bullets, and then the FBI had to walk that back and say, no, they're not actually. They're actually anti-fascist engravings. It's been fucking all over the place, right? So, I don't know what you guys think. That's the official story. I just don't. Again, I don't want to. I hate being the tinfoil hat guy. Okay, but everything, and it's not just me. Like in our Green Beret chats, almost everybody I'm talking to is like, this does not feel like a lone gunman. Doesn't even look like this guy was the gunman. Was he involved? Was he convinced to go on the roof to do something, to take pictures? Was he a patsy? I don't know, guys. All speculation. The fact that he made a phone call, I'll pull this up here because this just broke. Stand by 1 second while I pull this up. This just broke. I just got sent this from Affairs of the Civil, his meme page, literally right before we went live. So shout out to him for sending me this. Let's pull this up. So this just popped, right? We're not going to watch it. It's 25 minutes long, but essentially what this is showing is that he was caught making a phone call to someone literally right before he went up to the roof to take this shot. That's very, very odd, guys. If you're a lone gunman, went through all this planning, it's 26 minutes long, guys. But guys, I'll show you here if you want to go watch it. You can mark it down. We'll put it in the pin chat. So you guys, if you want to go watch this, you can. I haven't had the time to watch it yet. I just got the breakdown. Let's do that. Let's pin it in the chat, you guys, so you can go watch it afterwards. All right. Pin that in the chat. Good. Okay, but essentially, I got the too long didn't read of this. He was seen making a phone call to someone, we don't know who, right before he went in. To me, that screams not a lone gunman. Again, I don't know. We're guessing. We're speculating, right? So that's where I'm going to leave this one. Okay, is because that's the story, guys, and I want you to understand this. That official story is not going to change. Okay, if you didn't see, Trump expedited this to make sure that this dude gets the death penalty immediately. If I had to guess, they're going to get rid of this dude real fast. And they're going to say, whoop, case closed. That's my guess. Again, I don't know. But is he going to roll on somebody? I don't know. But if I had to guess, right, this is the official story. The FBI has said this is what happened. This is the shooter, and in Utah, yeah, to Hauser's point, they're gonna off this dude immediately, as fast as possible. He's not gonna pass away in prison. Donald Trump already put forward that he would be, before he was found, guys, that when they found him, he would get the death penalty. It's 100% chance he's going to get the death penalty. So that's where we're at with that one. Okay. Hit the buzzy. All right. I don't want to fall apart on super chats. So what we'll do, I'll hit the super chats. We'll jump straight into the next possibility. That's possibility one. Let me be clear. Is that a possibility? Lone gunman, Antifa, hardcore leftists. Nobody helped him. He pulled this off. Yes, it's a possibility. It's not what I personally believe, but it is an absolute possibility. I could be wrong. Okay. All right. Real quick, let's hit these as we go. Robert Knight, $20. No dono. Thank you very much, brother. Tony Killer, there's no way his eye shouldn't have a ring and bloodied with a scope that close while aiming. That's a great point, guys. If you didn't notice the way, I don't think I have. Do I have the picture of the rifle easily available? I do. Let's look at this real quick. Yeah, let's look at the way this scope is supposedly set up on this. This kid knows how to shoot, and obviously you saw the gun he was shooting there with his dad, high-powered, expensive rifle, and yet somehow he used this. So to your point, look at the scope. Look at the way the scope is set on this. Look how fucking far back the scope is on this. This is like for a 5-year-old child. Why is this scope set so far back? I mean, maybe not, right? But a lot of people have noticed this. Like, that's again to your point, Tank. I saw that, and that was very, very suspicious to me as well. Okay, good point. U.S. has to do a U-turn. Rip Western culture. We got to do something. JD, a lot of youth rebels against family and environment. Him being a furry isn't unbelievable. Absolutely not. 100%. College kid. It doesn't matter if dad's conservative or not. He could very easily still be hardcore, indoctrinated leftist. 100%, JD. Agree with that. Robert Knight, $10. Awesome hoodie, bro. Oh, yeah, man. We got some new hoodies in stock as well. Steve Morgan, Operation Northwoods 2.0. Phillips Gamebergs, do you think we're on the brink of civil war because I know we have civil unrest? No, I don't. Okay, guys, I know there is just I'm going to do a video on this too, of just like American society right now. It feels like we're on the brink of something crazy. Emotions are really high. People are really fucking pissed off. Really pissed off. Do I think we're on the brink of a civil war at the moment because of this? No, but I do think this is a pivotal moment going forward in American society where things are going to begin to change. I'll put it that way. Are we there yet? No, I don't think so. Max McGloin, $10. We don't know what to believe, but evidence points towards being a devotee. Yeah, that's another one we're going to talk about, right? Not necessarily Nick, but someone being removed so someone other can take the place, right? We'll talk about that. Met dissolve assets. Yeah, that's what the CIA does. All right. What you said in your XP about politics make me believe that Izzy killed Charlie. And we're going to talk about that one last because that's the one I think. I'm not going to say I believe. I don't know. I don't want to get into. Again, I don't want to say what I believe because if it turns out it's not true, people lose their minds. But it's what I'm leading towards myself. Doug Carlson is a donation going for the Kirk family. Would you be willing to donate this stream to his family? Yeah, we can look at doing that. Do you have a link? I have a link to where he has that. Message me on Instagram. We can see what we could do. We could definitely get a big donation going, like a charity stream or something like that, for sure. All right. Have you talked about where the rifle was in the CCTV of him leaving? Yeah, we went on. I did a whole video on that today. Because I don't know where the rifle is. I don't see it. I see a little backpack and looks like he picks his hat up off the ground after he jumps, but I don't know. YouTube won't let me comment about what I sent you, your Insta. It's really suspicious. Delete my comments about it. I'll check. Get done. Guys, got to be the 764 guys. Look it up. Shit's scary. 2 mass shooters in this year. Not linked. Yeah, I do think we're going to see more political violence and stuff like that, unfortunately. SM, $10, thank you. With as far away as the crap camera is, there's no way it would catch the barrel, even an under barrel. That's not true. Not the size of a buttstock and things like that on a 30-06. You 100%. If you can see a little baseball hat and you can see a little black backpack, you could 100% see a 30-06 rifle. I don't agree with you on that one. Maybe not, but I don't agree with that. All right, next one. Let's get into, and this is the leftist perspective, and that this was a hit by the right. It was a hit by Donald Trump, potentially. Why? Well, to distract from the Epstein case, of course. So let's start looking at some of those, okay? All right, here we go. Let's see what MSNBC had to say. I know this is going to piss you guys off because it's going to piss me off too, but it is one of the theories that's going around, right? This is probably the least likely, I believe, but we'll talk about it. All right.
With Allen, after one of the Doge employees was allegedly attacked in Washington, D.C., that's what Donald Trump used as a justification to send in federal troops into Washington, D.C. to get things under control. The carjacking situation, he used that. And I know it's hard to predict the future, Mark, but you can imagine the administration using this as a justification for something.
I must admit, I'm at a loss to guess as to what happens next. But Kirk.
All right. So there you go. MSNBC's take is essentially that this is going to be used as a false flag-esque incident to bring on martial law to usher in Donald Trump's third term, so he can take take full control of the government, turn this into a dictator-esque state, and all of it is to essentially let's see. I got another one right here. I'll pull up to show you that this is one of the things that's going around. Again, this is not the ones I believe. This is just what people are saying, right? So we got this one as well. All right. So how do we know Trump didn't order this as a distraction from Epstein, and a tactic to start civil unrest? He needs to declare martial law and delay the 2026 midterms. There you go, guys. So that's the Democrats' take. Not every Democrat, obviously, but that's MSNBC's take, is that this was a hit done by the right, done by Trump, so that we can usher in martial law before the 2026 elections. Okay. I don't know how you guys feel about that one. It's a stretch. I'll say this. I know Charlie Kirk was a hardcore supporter of Trump. And the one thing I know about Trump is he loves loyalty, and he loves people that loves him. It's MSNBC, right? This is the left's take. I wanted to get it out of the way up front. This is the one I think obviously is the least likely. I'm not seeing martial law coming to America over this. I don't know what you guys think, but again, we had to show that one. And then here's another one. This is a little bit, all right, to give some credence to this, all right, because I don't want to be super biased, because I think this is stupid. Okay, so let me give some perspective on why this, not that it has credibility, but people are sharing this as well. Okay, this did happen. Okay, the United States of America will be designated Antifa as a terrorist organization. This one is a little bit interesting because something horrific happens. The shooter is Antifa. Antifa is now a terrorist organization. Do I think Antifa should be designated as a terrorist organization anyway? Yeah, kind of. I mean, based off of the whole thing is political violence. So I don't really have a problem with this happening necessarily. I will say, like the devil's advocate, this is not my opinion, but the left is going to try to say, oh, see, you're using this event as a means to attack. I don't know why the left wants to claim Antifa, but they do. To make a political adversary designated as a terrorist organization. Okay, so I honestly think that they They kind of should be anyway. That's my personal opinion. I could be, could be wrong. But again, that's what we had there. Okay, so we moved through. Now let's go straight into. Let's see how far behind are we on super chats. Hopefully not too far. Shit, we're way behind. Okay, let's hit the super chats, and we're gonna go straight into Epstein. Epstein. This is an Epstein cover up. Okay, let's hit the super chats, and then we'll go straight into Epstein. Make sure I didn't miss. Let's see. Sorry, guys. I don't want to miss any of these. Yes, this was a bunch, actually. All right, I think did we do this? Did we do yours, Misa? No, I think this is where we left off. All right, Mesa, changing things up. I know being a Green Beret is a family thing, but did you ever try to go to Delta or desire to do it? No. So I talked about in my episode with my buddy Heath. We came back from our trip in Afghanistan in 2018. I had surgery on both my knees. That was early in my career. Not early in my career, but a little bit early in my career, and that kind of put it into those aspirations. I would not have been able to make it through Delta selection. I'm just honest about that, right? So it is what it is. Would have been cool, but I wouldn't have been able to make it. Cross $5. Do you think you could plant a rifle on the roof before the event? That's 100% a possibility. I'm not discrediting that. What I am saying is, where was it when he left? And again, could he have left something up there? I don't know. I'm just going by the FBI claims that the rifle he used for the shooting was found in the woods right after the shooting. That's the only thing I'm suspicious of. Could he have planted a weapon up there ahead of time? 100%. Not disagreeing with the possibility of that at all. It was sweet of him to also bring the box for his rifle. Makes it easier things on the FBI. Supposedly, the FBI said that was an evidence. They just happened to have a perfectly fit long rifle evidence box in the car with them when they found it. Okay. We'll take the FBI at their word. Scope mount, how could you even hold that rifle? Happy Friday. I know, right? Appreciate you, brother. The GOP blocking the release of the Epstein files. That is the next one we're going to talk about, brother. We're going to talk about that on the very next one, 100%. Very odd. Jason, Ozzy, 15, thank you. No father deserves this regardless of his views. Full scapegoat propaganda. Another elite. Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel no matter what, I feel bad, obviously, for the family. It's not the father's fault, right? Indoctrination is a crazy thing. Taylor, if this donates to the family, I'll drop a big one. Thanks for doing it. Appreciate you all. Again, yeah, I gotta make sure we get like the actual link to like real charity for that before we donate. But we definitely will look into it. Again, somebody needs to get me a link to that if they could. Ali Kadim, $100, moving here in Iraq in 2009, working with the troops for this year's. This is not what the U.S. you dream of. What's left, don't understand. Having a different opinion than others is not what makes the U.S. great. Rip Charlie. Oh, man. Well, glad that you made it here, brother. And 100%. That's everything about America is founded upon, right? Freedom of discourse, freedom of speech, all those different things. And to see that like people are just being openly assassinated for talking, that's not where we want to be at all. But thank you very much, brother. Appreciate the big dono. Charlie Kirk predicted that Israel would kill him, having Tucker Carlson, Dave Smith at Turning Point. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in the back half. I think it's important to note that use of such surplus rifles does correspond to the organization's Antifa. Yeah, however, based off of his family upbringing and all the guns we see, like, did he really need to do that? Great, get that like sort of stock piece of shit Walmart rifle. I don't know. It's hard for me to believe, but maybe. Oh, did I miss you, Joe? Just a question. What political value did Charlie have to unalive? He wasn't running for office. I don't understand. Just saying. Here, let me say this, guys. Why do I think he was really killed? I think one of the biggest statistics that's telling about this whole thing is that in 2023, I wish I had the chart. I do have the picture of it somewhere. In 2023, Gen Z Democrat males trended plus 18 Democrat. Okay. 2025, as of polling today, they're trending plus 22 Republican. What that means is it's a 44-point shift in 2 years in Gen Z males. And a lot of people think Charlie Kirk has had the most to do with that. So if you need to get rid of somebody who is literally ruining your chances of winning elections, again, I don't know, but that would be my guess, man. They did release some Epstein B-Day book an hour before Kirk. Trump in a spending $22,000 check for a depreciated girl. All right. Easy peasy, $20. What's up? I'm not the type to brag, but 200 yards ain't tough shot to make, especially with a scope. I've made shots at 200 yards of practice. This is a good one. I talked about this in my video. Is a 200-yard shot difficult? Inherently at a shooting range, no pressure, no nothing. No. Is a 200-meter shot difficult with the adrenaline through the roof, thinking you're possibly going to get shot and killed after, and the chaos, a little bit of a moving target? With a long gun, not necessarily. But there's a lot of different things to sort of factor in here. Do I think, again, if this was the shooter, this kid knew how to shoot, wouldn't have been a difficult shot for most trained shooters. I agree with you on that. If this was a random dipshit who never shot before, probably would be actually a pretty tough shot. But again, just thoughts on it. Such an awful thing. His kid was there. I know. I agree with you, brother. Brandon Pratt, Trump designated Antifa terrorist organization in his first term. I mean, he just announced he was going to. I didn't know that. We need to dig into his Discord account. Yeah, there's a lot of sketchy stuff going on this. Potentially people he was talking to in Discord, asking them to retrieve the gun, different types of things. 19, should I go Army Ranger or Green Beret? 19 years old, Army Ranger. Not even a discussion, brother. All right, $5 from Great Babe. Thanks, brother. When are we going to get APAC out of America? Hopefully soon. Focus. Well, who decided he was Antifa? The FBI is saying that. Remember, Trump designated the drug dealers terrorists. They blew up 11 people with zero proof. Obama. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. But yeah, the FBI is saying that. Antifa extremists are what the name implies there. Yep. In opinion, the rifle was planted in the woods after the shot was fired. Could be. As a diversion, I don't know. MSNBC clearly said it's possible effect, not a cause. Come on, man. I love you, dude. You're more credible than that. No, MSNBC has been absolutely horrifically fucking disgusting in this coverage of this. And if you are supportive of NBC and their coverage of this, you are wrong. Period. I'm not going to mince words on that one at all. Typically, I'm not, Chippy, I'm pretty open-minded. Not on that one. Brown, $20. I've hunted elk with 30-06. Has a ton of impact energy, as so have I. I've got 2 Browning 30-06s myself, which is also why I don't believe this is the weapon. Suspiciously, the damage doesn't really compare to what I've seen it do. Absolutely not. I haven't talked about that one, Braun, but that does not look like a 30-06 entrance wound whatsoever to me. Just another one. Could be, but I don't think so. No way Trump gets rid of his strongest loyalists. Yeah, I don't believe that either. How did CK and team Charlie Kirk not think about shooters on the roof? Man, I did a whole video showing that area. Dude, there was 270 degrees of raised buildings that had line of sight into that amphitheater. It was pretty much no way to mitigate that in that specific location, unfortunately. So Walker's $5. DJ Shipley talks about wearing Vans shoes in combat. What are your thoughts? Vans and Converse are really good for things like military free fall, dive, all sorts of different things. A lot of guys I know did wear them. I didn't. I wore boots, but yeah, it's not that rare. Seen the exposure to the Book of Death? Yeah, that's pretty weird. Released right before. Again, one of the weird ones. All right, let's jump into it. Epstein. I got to pump through this. Only got about 30 minutes left. All right, because I got to get to the last one, which is going to be, of course, the one we're all here for. All right, let's do this. Let's see. Here we go. All right. Epstein. This is a distraction from Epstein. Very weird timing, very weird things that happen. So I want you guys to look at this. This doesn't prove anything, but this timeline of events on the day of the shooting is very, very awkward. Very odd. So 2:10 p.m., you have Charlie hit. 3:24, Trump posts on True Social asking to pray for Kirk. Also at 3:24 at the exact same time, Benjamin Netanyahu also posts the exact same thing. Very awkward. 4:47 p.m., Trump publicly announces he has died. right before mainstream media time, when the entire country is going to be fixated on this. At 6:12 p.m., Republicans vote to block the Epstein files. Literally. An hour after Charlie Kirk is pronounced dead, right before mainstream media, the Senate Republicans vote to block the release of the Epstein files. I'm not saying this is why, but I will tell you that is very odd timing. Okay. Is it a coincidence? Yes. However, when we move into this one, hold on, let's see if I find it. Bit too far. Charlie Kirk had started speaking out about this exact thing. Is this it? I don't know if I have. Oh, I might have. Oh, no, here we go. I got it. So, just to go with the whole Epstein cover-up thing, Charlie Kirk started to get very vocal about this week. Also making this very awkward. All right.
The DOJ should immediately move to unseal all the Epstein documents in the Southern District of New York.
Yeah. Everything.
And
Everything except child sexual assault material.
I think every file should be released to the public the same way as the JFK files. Let the American people decide.
Put them out there,
one day
because
ago,
if there's
excuse me.
nothing in there, then we can see there's nothing in there. Now,
I think the DOJ should immediately
I
move
believe
to
that was last week. That specific clip got posted one day ago. So that's weird. That Charlie, not only is Charlie, and we're going to get into this in the next session with our favorite tiny hatted friends, not only did Charlie start to speak out about the Epstein files and how he thought they needed to be released, but Charlie also started speaking out about how he believed Epstein was a Mossad agent. This week. That's, again, I'm not here to say that this is what caused this, but when we talk about very fucking odd things in linear timeline of events, wasn't Charlie starting to turn on Israel? Yes. Yes, he was. We're going to talk about that next. Again, very, very odd. Okay. Again, I hate to say that, like, I'm not trying to say this is what I believe. I'm just saying Charlie Kirk starts speaking up about Epstein. Charlie Kirk starts speaking about how he wants the files released. Charlie Kirk starts speaking about how he thinks Epstein is a Mossad agent. He's killed. On the literal same day he's killed, 1 hour after his death, Republicans vote to block the Epstein files from being released. That's very weird. Very, very weird, guys. Coincidence? Maybe. Maybe. All right. But I don't know. Okay. Again, I got to blow through these. We got to keep going. We got about 20 minutes. I got to get into the big one. All right. Let's do this. Let's go straight into it, and then we'll try to blast through the supers at the back end. I wish I had more time today, guys, but again, we got the football game. All right, let's go straight into flags in the chat. We're gonna need them to not get our fucking channel banned for this one, boys. What we're gonna get into. So, here we go. Okay, let's start with this one because this just happened this week, also. Yeah. Let's do it.
We should also ask a question. Is the media totally presenting the truth when it comes to Israel? Just a question, that maybe we shouldn't believe everything the media says, because I know I've been conditioned to ask a lot more critical questions over the last couple of years. Maybe we should also...
So, get a sit down with Ben Shapiro, and yes, Charlie Kirk has started to say some... So we'll bring up another one here. Started to be very, very critical of Israel this week, which he has never done. He's been a big, big supporter of Israel, pretty much nonstop. But let's look at another one. All right, another one from Charlie. I believe this is this week also.
The way you are treating me is so repulsive. I have text messages, Megan, calling me an anti-Semite.
It's been
almost
so
as if
unfair.
you-
They were coming after you after Turning Point for, among other
Oh,
things,
it's
that
so-
you had Dave Smith there. Dave Smith is allowed to
Questioning my-
criticize Israel. You had both sides.
No,
The Israeli side was
You're not allowed to,
overrepresented.
though. No, you're not allowed to. It's even worse than that. My moral character is now being put into question, Megan. Not my decisions, not like, hey, are you doing this? Is it smart or is it dumb? But no, I am a bad person if I do this.
It's
No,
like
but
there's some
hold on,
rule
but
you
are
can't go
we?
there when it comes to Israel.
Well, you and I believe that we're Americans and Americans first, period.
Mm.
End of story. We are citizens of this nation, okay?
That's
And
right.
Israel, we have funded, we have supported. I host a person that I moderate the debate of, mind you,
Right.
And I give equal time to Josh Hammer, equal time to a pro-Israel advocate, and my moral character is being put into question. And so I think it's a hyper paranoid, like we're just going to try to, we're going to just stamp out everything type of practice. But it goes to the point where, if, for example, if I have less ability sometimes online to criticize the Israeli government about backlash than actual Israelis do.
That's fucking crazy, man. That clip right there. That was the week before he was killed. Oh. Yeah, that's. And again, Charlie's been a big supporter of Israel for years. And it's just a big coincidence that the second Charlie Kirk decides to speak out against Israel, 2 days later, he's schwacked. Could be a huge coincidence. Huge coincidence. Okay? However, this is very awkward. That this is the response from, well, let's take a look. Just some of this stuff, man. All right, let me pull it up here. So, this is the response we get the day after Charlie Kirk is dead.
Never stop debating and discussing. We will never stop standing up for what America is and for what she should be. And we will never let Charlie Kirk's voice die. Goodbye to my friend, Charlie Kirk. May your memory be a blessing for your family and for your country and for all of us. Now, it's still up to us. I saw a lot of rumors online today. I was made aware of this by my team that I canceled some sort of college tour. That's bullshit. I saw those rumors. They are false. I will be coming to college campuses, many of them this year. So will we all, I am sure, because we're Americans and we're not going to be deterred. Charlie's voice is not silent. We're going to pick up that bloodstained microphone where Charlie left it. And to those who would intimidate, who would seek to stop us, who would seek to end free discussion, who believe that they have ownership over public spaces and can violently threaten and kill people who speak freely, we are not going to stop. And I have two words. Fuck you.
Interesting, Ben. Seems devoid of all emotion. Doesn't really seem. I mean, I got visibly a little bit emotional before I even started this. No emotion there. Also, you notice how the day after he was killed, he lets everybody know that he's going to be taking Charlie's place. I'll be taking Charlie's place. I'll be hitting the campus tour. Don't worry, guys. I'm Charlie Kirk now. Huh. That's pretty fucking convenient. You know, I mean, maybe I'm overthinking things here, guys. But I don't know. So what we're going to do now, we're going to get into the poll. We're going to do a poll. And I just want to see what everybody's thoughts are. We're going to give some options here. Again, this is just the community deciding why. Let's get some options. Lone gunman, leftist, FIFA, Trump to declare martial law, Epstein cover up. Tiny hats. Why not? Fuck it. Let's throw it in there. Here we go, boys. This is not my opinions. This is the chat. What do we think? Why? Or who? You guys let me know what you think. We're going to let this one run for a while we hit some super chats, okay? Again, I just want to know what you guys think. I've got my own opinions. I'm not going to air them because, again, people lose their minds. But to my point, you guys decide. And then we'll read the results. All right, let's hit the super chats. I got 11 minutes left, boys and girls. Sorry, I know we're crazy. We got almost 5,000 people in the chat today. Thank you all very much for being here. Thanks for the support to the channel. I love you guys. Again, I'm not trying to give you guys answers and pretend I know the truth and I know what's right and what's wrong. And I'm just trying to give you guys my perspective of things I'm watching, right? We're speculating. It is what it is, right? All right. Kevin Martin, $20. Thank you very much for the big dono. Chase Hughes, Body Language and Naval Intelligence Agency. He had a 22-minute video. Would like your opinion. Believe this is much bigger than Charlie. Believe PSYOPs. Not a conspiracy guy, but he has me interested. It's hard for me to believe that this was just the lone gunman by himself and nobody else is involved, man. I don't have an answer of all these different possibilities, but it's hard for me with someone as prominent as Charlie that this was just a one-off. All right, Jake the Crypto Snake, $20. Thank you. I think this was a deep state hit to usher in the AI surveillance state. All right, so there's that was one we could have got into. Let's get the kind of goes into the martial law sort of angle of it, you know, Palantir and all that. Patriot Act 2.0. What better way to make Trump side off on it than take out one of his friends? That was one of the ones we kind of talked about, but a different angle of it. Josh Hendricks with the big $50. Thank you. Possibly coordinated. There's a video with a guy in a white shirt behind Kirk on his right side who has tips. His hat seconds before. Yeah, I've seen this shot. And then you have a guy claiming that to be the shooter. Distraction. That was very odd. That old man who, again, which a lot of these things make me think this is not just a lone shooter job. That old man who caused all the distraction and got himself arrested and got all the police's attention for nearly an hour while the shooter got away. Good points on that for sure. Thank you very much, brother. Good rule. Whatever MSNBC says, assume the opposite. Yeah, I mean, you don't often go wrong with that. Miss what I wrote? I believe people who found it planted it. Okay, I see what you're saying. Possibility in that. Jay Curry, $5. No comment. Thank you, brother. Donovan Irvin, $10. Do you think if political violence keeps happening, martial law should be done? What is martial law going to do to stop political violence like this, though, man? You know what I mean? That's why I'm not an advocate for this at all. Do I think there's going to be more political violence? Do I think there's going to be retribution for this attack? 1,000%. I don't think we've seen the end of this at all. I think it's going to ramp through the roof. Do I think it's going to ramp to civil war, martial law? I don't, but I do think we're entering a new era of, you got another question there, a new era of political violence, potentially. Sadly, I hope not. I hope I'm wrong, but it does feel that way. Going to become a Marine, and advice before going to boot, get in shape, brother. Make sure you can run, especially if you're going to Marine boot. Cardio's king. Push-ups, sit-ups, run, and you'll be good. All right, Alberto, $5. It shocks me that in this day and age, security teams don't use drones to scout for roofs on snipers. Yeah, they probably should. Also, we're at this point where multiple people saw this guy on the roof. There's another angle of someone like, oh, look, there's someone on the roof. That's weird. And nobody's calling that in. Nobody's calling the police. Maybe, you know, really weird to me. Tyler Welker, what's up, brother? $10. Your shooter not having a gun video led me to record some evidence of the event. Shooter was on a different roof. How can I get this video to? Instagram, bro. Instagram. Hit me up on Instagram. We'll talk about it. Kirk has a large youth following that Israel wanted. He recently snubbed Netanyahu, by the way, Ben. Yeah, we just talked about that. Oh, Mark Levine, dude. Oh, this fucking. When Mark Levine posted his condolences to Kirk, it happened to be a picture of Kirk wearing a little hat. Strange considering the recent discussion. No coincidence. Yeah, I am not a fan of that fucking dude at all, personally. Scott K, $20. Nate, you have more progressive viewers who find you insightful. Doesn't matter what Charlie Kirk ever said. In America, you don't supposed to die for words. They attacks all Americans, free speech and bipartisan. You guys know I'm very sort of apolitical. I'm very critical of Trump and the Trump administration. A lot of things. I'm not a fan of the left. That doesn't make me smarter than anybody. It's just the way I am. So I appreciate it, man. I try not to be political because I'm not a browbeater either way, left or right, for sure. Nobody believes in coincidence. Not like 15 coincidences in a row. That's where like I start to draw the line. Like one coincidence, but like the Epstein coincidence, like, oh, hey, it's just a weird coincidence that Charlie Kirk started talking bad about, Jeffrey Epstein being a Mossad agent, and then literally he gets killed, and then that day, like an hour later after he's dead, they vote to block the Epstein files. Like, okay. It's hard to believe that, but maybe just a lot of coincidences. But yeah, man. All right. Let's see. Did I lose? No. Did we get this one? No, we just got that one. All right. I have a feeling every single member of Congress that voted to withhold Epstein files got money from AIPAC. Well, they all get money from AIPAC is the crazy thing. Even the Democrats, there's only like 10 members of Congress total that don't receive money from AIPAC. But the fact every Republican blocked it. Wonder why? I was fucking so sick of this shit. I know you guys are sick of this shit too, but here we are. Hunter Rome, $5. Not funny, but it's not a funny hat, but it's always a funny hat. It's not a funny hat, but it's always a tiny hat. We should say that. I don't know if I'm gonna get in trouble for that. Just a joke. Just kidding. All right. I looked on Elon Musk Grok. What is it? Gronk about the writing on bullets, and it said extremists fighting. What do you think? Well, that's another one that's weird because the FBI came out and told us it's trans activists engravings on the bullets. And then they said, oh, actually, it's not. It's just not engravings. And then they came out today and said, actually, it's Antifa engravings. So I don't know, man. If you guys haven't figured out by now that I don't trust the FBI as far as I can fucking kick them, I don't. If the FBI tells me something, I'm almost inherently going to be like, it's probably the opposite of that at this point. We got that one already. Just sent you an email on the video made of interest. I live in Salt Lake City. No, the camp's well. We're looking at the wrong roof. Like your perspective. Yeah. I'll check it out, man. Interested in that for sure. Austin Compton. Yeah. Okay. Not going to get me on that one. Just an 82nd infantry dude, please, for the love of non-parasocial. That's my influencer. Keep being you. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you very much. Appreciate the support, everybody. Jenny with the $10. No comment. Not to beat you up on the MSNBC thing, Jenny, but I appreciate you being here regardless. I just really don't like what I heard out of MSNBC's anchors. I think the anchor got fired though, so the one that said the really horrific shit afterwards. So I should, maybe be a little bit easier on it. Easy peasy, $10. I'll get flamed for this. I don't care about Israel one way or another, just a country on the other side of the world. You're not going to get flamed for that here, brother. You think you're going to get flamed for that in my chat? No, not here, bro. You're in the wrong place if you think you're going to get flamed for that. So you're in pretty good company here on that one. I don't give a flying about that country. I'll just say it. Flip that, I guess, if you want. Don't care. William Gold, $10. I didn't put my life on the line for a country that is going to force me to choose one two-sided stake violence against people who have different opinion and harm for me. Semper Fi. Yeah, I know, man. It's not what it's about at all. Thank you very much. Appreciate you always being here, brother. Alberto, $5. If we don't see the man be blank, how do we know he won't be sent to Israel without us knowing? They just claim it. I'm pretty sure we saw. Yeah, from the videos I saw. Skeptic, $10. Don't think it's a little weird that Benjamin Netanyahu is on every single. Yes, it is. I didn't get into that, man. But the fact that this motherfucker immediately. Also, God, I wish I had the clip. I don't have the clip. Let me hit your. This comment's good. On every single news channel saying Israel was not responsible for this, even though Charlie was concerned with Israel. Not only that, did you guys see Netanyahu immediately came out right after Charlie was pronounced dead? And did you see what he said? That it was 100% done by Islamic terrorists and that we need to invade Qatar. Okay, Ben. Yeah, we're not used to you fucking saying shit like that. Jesus Christ, dude. Yeah, Islamic terrorists. Mm-hmm. I'm sure, dude. Okay. Oh, I always love this one. Tim Kennedy sold me Fent, $20. Thank you. Seems way too coordinated for a lone gunman between the decoys that were instantly apprehended in the crowd. Guess what? We'll have to wait and see the manifesto. Hard part is, I agree with you. Hard part is, we're not going to get the true story, guys. We're going to get a story. The story is it's a far left Antifa fucking indoctrinated psycho young college kid who acted by himself. That's the story. That's what we're going to be told. They'll put him to death and we'll be told to move on. That's going to be what happens, in my opinion. And it'll be up to us to speculate beyond that. Please add Groyper's followers of Nick Fuentes to the poll. Yeah, I don't think so, man. I don't see Nick Fuentes being behind this assassination, personally. I think that's a little too far of a stretch. Izzy Bucklemello, $10. Thank you. How can this kid disassemble the rifle? 30 seconds walk off the building. The gun was planted there. Well, he definitely didn't disassemble a 30-06 in 30 seconds. An like a collapsible AR-15. You could get that collapsed if you were talented and quick at it and into a backpack pretty quick. Not a 30-06. You would need tooling for that. So, and also, I keep seeing this one. He broke the gun down, and that's why he had it in a little backpack when he jumped off the roof, because you can see him run off his little backpack. And then he decided to put the entire gun back together just to leave it in the woods. Got it, FBI. Got it. Yep, that sounds super reasonable. That's exactly what somebody would do in this situation. All right, Kirk was worth $15 million. Keep the donos for your family. That's not what it's about, man. That's not what it's about. You know what I mean? Why the hell would his shooter need some dumbass to tip their hat to give them the signal to shoot? Some of the theories are so dumb. Yeah, I'm not a big one that this was like some. You take the shot when you can take the shot. As a sniper, when you have the clear shot, you're going to take the shot. You're not waiting for some hat tip. I don't buy that one either. I think that one was a little bit of a stretch myself. But again, I don't know. Okay. Congress doesn't want the next. You want to be next on the RIP list? Yeah, well, we're getting there in political violence. Too early. Got to develop a situation before it can form an opinion. Now, I see this comment a lot. People are like, you're not allowed to speculate on things. Why? So we're not supposed to talk about anything ever? Oh, we got to wait for the FBI to give us an official report before we have an opinion on something? I don't agree with that, brother. Otherwise, I wouldn't have a YouTube channel. I'd have nothing to make content on if I couldn't speculate on things. Right about done. Getting through the final super chats. All right, guys, I'm getting bullied by my wife. We got to get through these. And the FBI considered shutting the fuck up. This, bro. If the FBI considered shutting the fuck up until they actually know something. I like cash at first, but they need. So again, we saw right immediately after they found the shooter, Kash Patel tweets, "We got him." Turns out you didn't get him. You got an elderly man in downtown fucking Utah who had a pellet gun in his car. So I agree with this 100%. Had the FBI not said a fucking word and just conducted the investigation and gave us a report like a day later, would be far more believable. The FBI's bullshit is what makes this so much more of a conspiracy. It's not our fault, guys, as citizens who are watching all this coverage and watching the FBI go, we got him. Actually, we don't got him, but we got the gun and some bullets with some trans engravings. Actually, it's not trans engravings. We were just kidding. It's these instead. Believe us, please. That, and the FBI is doing that. That's not our fault for being suspicious of that, right? Like, come on, dude. Professionalism. To your point, huge lack of professionalism going on. Especially, guys, because like when the FBI initially released that they found the shooter, I know a guy who's in the Utah Sheriff's Department who was updating me, and I asked him, I'm like, do you guys have him? Kash Patel just said you had him, and he was like, We have no idea what the fuck the FBI is talking about. We don't have anybody. We have no suspects. All we know is it's someone wearing black. So the fact the FBI is just saying shit like that when they have nothing, it doesn't help conspiracies, right? All right, Carl, $10. You should watch the legendary Green Beret Gary Melton's Paramount Tactical breakdown of how he hit 30-6 hit Charlie's steel plate. Nope. Doesn't have a steel plate on. I did a whole thing on this. You can see Charlie's nipples. You can see his nipples. The nipples don't lie, bro. He doesn't have plates on. I wish I had time to just pull that up for you real quick. Maybe do I? I've got the picture right here. Let's do it real quick. We got a minute or two. All right. Scroll down. Is this one? Here we go. Let's share this with you guys. So this just completely disproves the plates. I've seen this one. I thought so first. I'm not judging you, man. I thought he had plates on too. The weird ricochet off the body shocks. It looks like it bounced off the plates, but fortunately, when we look at this, yeah, nipples don't lie, homie. See his nipples? See his nipple? Yeah. You don't have fake nipples on bulletproof plates. So we know he didn't have plates on. Anyway, again, I'm not judging you or giving you a hard time. I thought that too until I had some Green Beret buddies go, nope, you can see his nipples through his shirt. FBI is super pissed Mossad didn't tip them off. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. $20 from Welder Fab, or one thing we know, TK and MC fuck plan. It didn't work. I don't know. I don't think Tim Kennedy would be good enough to pull this off, to be honest. Congresswoman vote against it. Is he killing politicians? What congresswoman? Not sure. Guys, you got to stop super chatting. I got to get out of here. You guys are killing me. Easy peasy, $5. Don't think the country is that important? The country is all that important, not behind everything. America, I think, is. I think the last bastion of real freedom, and even though we don't really even have freedom. What about the plane that took off? I know, man. I got that one. All right, real quick. You guys are going to make my wife kill me. I've got it teed up right here. We were going to get to it. I just didn't have time. All right, there it is. Yes. Right. So another very awkward thing. Let's see, try to hide these. For 20 minutes after the shooting took place, just happened to be a private jet. Took off from Provo Airport, 4.4 miles away, turned their radar off. That's fucking weird. That's fucking weird. But again, I don't have it. Right. Oh my God. I'm trying to get through these. If I missed any, I'm sorry, guys. Again, my wife's about to kill me. Ford Ghost, $20. Guess we're supposed to trust the same FBI that partook in the Russia collusion hoax and the Epstein cover-up. Ow! The same people that are covering up Epstein right now. Trust them, which I don't. Yeah, agree with you 100% on that one, bro. What do you think about George Zinn being at the World Trade Center marathon bombing at the Charlie Kirk assassination plus plane? I haven't seen that, man. Can't comment on it. Or ma'am, sorry, Nicole and Harold. I don't know which one it was. I haven't seen that, but thank you. Mike Matrix, $10. Do you think the student that asked about transgender shootings was in on our coincidence? Maybe the shooter waited for a question. It is very, very awkward that he was shot right as that question was asked. I don't know. I don't know, man. Very, very suspicious though. How come you wouldn't say, what are you talking about? I say that all the time. I 100% believe that. You must be new to the channel. Welcome to my channel. Duh. All right. Shuey, $10 with everything that happened to Charlie Kirk. I unfortunately see the retaliation opposing radicals floodgate open. I do too. I think we're going to see a lot more political violence. Thirsty Salt, $10. Got a buddy who's an informant for the FBI infiltrating far-right groups via Discord, Reddit after hearing the tales. I'm sure Little Hats had something to do with it. I mean, again, it's all speculation. Fungus Gnome, $5. Lone gunman, assassination of political figure where the shooter is killed quickly and we never find answers. Where have we seen this before? Just over and over and over and over again. It's almost every single time. Weird. Slow-mo video I sent you on Insta correlates with a different shooter from behind Kirk. I'll take a look at that. I know. I have to get through the super chats. We're almost there. She's going to kill me. In the words of my papa, believe nothing that you hear and half of what you see. That's a great, great one. I fully believe the tiny hats are the culprits. Just for the conversation where the chances the shooter stream right-wing Neo that went after Charlie for his Israel support. Interesting. But I don't know. I mean, Hard to say. That's not what the FBI is telling us. We'll say that. Great channel, Nate. Thank you very much, Chris. Late to the party. Did you talk about the Amazon book on Kirk's Myrtle? Yeah, well, some of the viewers talked about it a little bit. Very, very strange. It got released like a day before. All right, we made it through. Guys, thank you so much. Ton of people in here. I wish we could go longer, but we got the kids' football game. We'll if I can get a good GoFundMe for Charlie Kirk's. Charlie Kirk's family, we'll make sure we're going to donate. No more super chats. And then I'll donate on behalf of our stream. Okay. And I appreciate all you guys. God bless to Charlie Kirk and his family. Also, to all of you, I just want to say out there, to all your loved ones, you got wives, kids, moms, dads, call them, tell them you love them. Hug your families, tell your families you love them, because as we saw with Charlie, like, you never know, guys. You never know when it's going to be your time. All right. So I know everybody, as you see, I'm not going to be a person that's calling for retribution or violence back the other way. I don't feel that way at all. I want, hopefully, we can get some love and everything like that going around, even though in these trying emotional times. Right. So again, tell your families you love them. That's going to do it for this one. And thank you all very much. And again, send a prayer for Charlie's family. Okay. I'll catch you on the next one. See you guys.